I think so. It was like that intense.
I'm Jim, I'm sorry. But I'll answer some of the businesses. Well, we've had several conversations about that whole area.
Yeah.
I'll drive by there tomorrow. What's too high? Fancy?
What about
I'm sure. I'm not little the other way, but I'm sure. Right behind Suzanne, got a side.
I warn you guys.
I
I'm just
know you
saying.
do. I know you do. And it's not your fault. How are you?
Yeah, we have a party. He's presenting.
Good evening. Welcome to the Red Bank Council meeting for September 12th, 2018. Please rise with the flag salute and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know that we're meeting here on the day after September 11th, and we had a number of commemorative ceremonies yesterday. However, since it is so close, we're asking that you just keep on thinking of the victims, their families, the ones who are still suffering, and most importantly also for the first responders and the volunteers, many of whom were from Red Bank, and one of them was even here tonight, that served for so many years and are still suffering from what they observed and what they tried to do to help others. Thank you. We have a little echo there. Roll call, please.
Councilman Taylor?
Here.
Councilman Whalen?
Here.
Councilman Youngstrom?
Here.
Councilman Ballard?
Here.
Councilman Ziprich?
Here.
Councilwoman Horgan? Here.
Sunshine Statement.
Let the minutes reflect that in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act, that notice of this meeting has been provided by notifying the Asbury Park Press, the True River Times, and the Star Ledger, replacing a notice on the bulletin board and filing same with the Borough Clerk on January 1, 2018.
Thank you. Is there a motion to suspend the regular order of business? So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. We have a number of action items this evening. The first is the Police Department presentation to the Red Bank Elks Lodge 233, as well as to some very special officers. Commissioner, you first.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. We'd like to call up the Elks to receive an appreciation award on behalf of the borough for their generous donation of the police vest for their K9 Echo. So if the Elks want to come up, we have a presentation for you, and we'd like to call up Patrolman Tanner Shea and Echo.
That's a form-fitting vest.
It is.
It is, yeah.
The Red Bank Elks, I'm the executive ruler at the Red Bank Elks. We decided to donate this form-fitting vest to Echo because of everything that he does. It protects our country, our town, as well as the police officers. And we hope that he wears it and it keeps him safe.
Yeah, so Red Bank, obviously, we've been very grateful for the relationship that the Elks has with the borough as well as the police department. So Red Bank really as a whole, on behalf of the mayor and the council, I appreciate all the work you do in the community for Red Bank, but especially with this generous donation. I know Patrolman Shea has been doing an amazing job over the past year. And I know Patrolman Bomber over there with Hunter is just as happy that he gets some weekends off now, that we get to have a full-time K-9 unit in Red Bank. So it's a huge win for the community, it's a huge win for the police department and for the borough, and thank you, Elks, for continuing to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know Patrolman Shea would like to say a few words.
I think Echo wants to say a few words too.
On behalf of the Red Bank PBA, Red Bank Police Department, myself personally, I'd like to thank you guys for your generous donation of this vest. As we know, as you may know, may not know, the K-9s are used for a variety of different things: narcotic detection, criminal apprehension, tracking, whether it's the bad guys or the good guys, suicidal subjects, stuff like that. There are some incidents where the K-9 could be the first point of contact with the target. With the vest, which is ballistics and stamp-proof, it'll help ensure his safety while patrolling the streets. So again, I'd like to thank you all for the vest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We also have an award for another officer here. Tyler, can you explain it?
My name is Tyler Pointer. I'm a Tyler, the Red Bank Lodge 233. Back in August, we had a first responders barbecue where we nominated and selected Officer Stan over here with Hunter, and we'd like to present you with your plaque.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Serving the town.
And we're going to try to get enough money. We're raising him money right now to get him a vest right now.
He has a vest. So
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he has,
Okay.
How
he
about
has
treats,
one,
then?
he's good to go. Maybe,
Oh, well, we
yeah.
can always get him treats.
I think the Stan needs to actually the vest for the dog.
Yeah. He got my first vest.
Good. But if you guys ever need anything, you know, Red Bank
Yep.
Elks are here for you.
Thank you so much, appreciate
Thank
it
you.
all.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Okay, next is the mayor's ball presentation to beneficiaries. I know Barbara is not here, but, oh, Barbara is here. Barbara and Debbie are both here, sorry. Come on up for a second. We are very pleased, once again, to be able to celebrate community and to be able to celebrate that community in a spirit of giving back. And it could only be made possible by the generous contributions of all those who attend and support and sponsor the Mayor's Charity Ball. And since we've started, every year we have returned to the community the proceeds from the ball itself. And these two ladies and others, including two former mayors, assist extraordinarily in trying to make the work of the ball a success. So for Holiday Express, we do have a check for $9,000. I think Tim will, oh, so Tim will appreciate this, and the folks at Holiday Express.
Thank you. No, don't worry.
And I have to say that This is what Holiday Express's 30th anniversary in Red Bank. And so last year, when normally I welcome people at the Thanksgiving concert, I said to Tim, I said, we have to do something for you. You're doing it always for us. And that's when I announced that we should donate to Holiday Express because they bring so much joy to people who, in many instances, do not have joy in their lives. And so that simple, reflective act of kindness is what Red Bank is all about. So thank you for doing what you're doing. I'd say keep on doing it for the next 30 years, but Tim won't want to hear that. But your organization will, so congratulations.
And I just want to thank the town of Red Bank. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Manna, for choosing Holiday Express. We couldn't do what we do without all of you guys' help. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You sure?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Where's the next
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So,
I'm good.
yeah. The second presentation is to the Red Bank Animal Welfare Committee. And that is to the members of the committee and other members, including the chairperson, Debbie Marks, who's the chair. And that is also a check for $9,000. And the first check went to those who have a voice to give enrichment to others, Holiday Express. The second $9,000 is going to benefit those who have no voice. And we try to be animal friendly. We're going to come up with ways in which we can assist owners of various animals in Red Bank, and stray animals and others, and we're going to be announcing a program later. And this will go a long way to make animal-friendly Red Bank more animal-friendly, including PR initiatives to engage more of our businesses in being more animal-friendly instead of the 1940s, to have a presence of animals in their places, and also to make them a full-fledged part of our community. So thank you for everything that you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for
and for volunteering.
And for our chair and everybody else in the committee, obviously, thank you. And we will make good use of all that.
And I think,
My pleasure.
okay. I think no matter who's at the days next year, I hope that the mayor's charity ball will continue, because it's a good effort, and I think it's gone to a lot of really great causes. So I know that our administrator would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Get up to the front. This wasn't on the program.
He's taking the floor.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise, Mayor and Council. So since joining the Red Bank family about 4 months ago, I've truly been amazed with the fact that it really is a family. There's a lot of pride in Red Bank. There's a lot of love for the city. There's a lot of care and concern, and the debate and the discourse is always motivated, I think, by passion for the borough to be better. But there's no symbol for that pride of Red Bank. And so with that, I just want to call up Debbie and Barbara, actually. Come on up, please. Come on up. I want to start a new tradition here, and that is by presenting these little symbols. They're pins. It's the Red Bank seal, lapel pins, to these two wonderful women for their work with the Mayor's Ball. And I also would be remiss if I did not mention Doreen Hoffman as well for her work in putting that event together. But this is a tradition that I would like to start to recognize those who really do some tremendous work on behalf of the borough, and for all of you to wear these proudly and represent the borough. So I want to thank you very much. I also want to thank Debbie and Doreen and Pam as well, because they helped make these pins possible. Took a little bit more time than you would imagine, but I think as it's good to see everybody wearing those pins on their lapel, you'll agree that this is a point of pride, and thank you very much for all your hard work. So.
Very
I've got
Thank you, Sienna.
And so you each have an envelope to recognize your constituents and business members, business community members. You're wrong.
Next, in continuing tradition, it's really my great pleasure to welcome an old friend, and we're talking about family, and frankly, the next person coming up is a part of the Red Bank family. He started off, if I recall correctly, his salad years in public service as an aide to a certain former assemblyman, never knowing that he was going to be an assemblyman himself. But he's a wise and gracious member of the Assembly, a neighbor from up the county a little bit, but Assemblyman Robert Clifton is here, who is the representative from Comcast, and has been for the past X amount of years. So I'm not going to age you right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not here in my official elected capacity. I'm here on behalf of Comcast. I'm just your friendly neighborhood cable man.
So climb up the pole, Rob?
No, they don't let me do that. They keep me off the poles. So we are nearing the end of the current cable franchise with the Borough of Red Bank. This process started approximately 3 years ago. It is a federally mandated renewal process. It began on April 7th of 2016 when I sent a letter to the borough, which is called the 626 letter. This is section 626 of the FCC regulations governing cable renewal. And basically, it was our intention to seek to renew the franchise with the borough. On June 7th of this year, I submitted our application for renewal, which you all received, and that is basically what we're here tonight, is a public hearing on the application. But before I get into that, just some additional information. On March 7th of 2019, our franchise with the borough will expire, and our COA, or our Certificate of Approval from the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, will expire. The Certificate of Approval is a document that a cable provider needs in order to operate a cable system in a municipality in New Jersey. It is given after a negotiation between the company and the borough. The borough gives its consent, and then we petition the state of New Jersey, the Board of Public Utilities, to approve that application. This application only covers cable television. It does not cover internet or phone service. Upon the close of the public hearing, the town would have 30 days to issue a consent ordinance or a resolution of denial. Now, the time frame on this is very flexible. It is only put in place if neither side is willing to sit down and negotiate with the other. Being that this ordinance does not expire until March of next year, we have several months in order to come to an agreement. The ordinance that we are seeking from the borough is a simple right-of-way. It does not obligate you to do anything other than to allow us to continue to run our plant along the municipal rights-of-way. It is, most importantly for you and the public, it is non-exclusive, meaning any other cable provider can come before the board and ask for the same rights that we are seeking as well. About 7 years ago, the state of New Jersey changed this process and created two different models for renewing a franchise. One is the one that we are seeking here tonight, a direct negotiation with the municipality. The other is what is called a statewide franchise, and our competitor Verizon has one of those here. Basically, a cable provider or video provider can go directly to the state of New Jersey and ask to serve a municipality and not come for municipal consent. We have chosen the traditional standard renewal of going per municipality because every municipality has different needs, different desires, different populations. So we believe that it's not a one-size-fits-all. So we like to negotiate. And we also have, in just about every municipality, we represent a good working relationship with the municipality. So there are 4 criteria on which the governing body must judge our application. And this is not Comcast's 4 criteria. This is set by state and federal statute. 1, has the cable operator substantially complied with the terms of the existing franchise and with applicable law? We believe we have met all those. Has the quality of the operator's service and response to customer needs been reasonable to meet the community's needs? We believe we have. We have heard very little in the way of any issues from the town about any cable-related issues. Does the operator have the financial, legal, and technical ability to provide the services that we're proposing to provide? We do. We are continuing to upgrade often, roll out new services, so we are keeping up with that demand. Is the operator's renewal proposal reasonable to meet the cable-related needs of the community? That is something that we'll discuss as the negotiations move forward. There are 2 areas in which you cannot use to judge whether to approve or deny. And again, this is stated by the federal government and the state. The 2 areas are, first are rates. Rates are outside of your purview. They are governed by federal and state statute. And second is programming. Our channel lineup is protected under the First Amendments as newspaper content is. But that being said, I will do my best to answer any questions you may have on those 2 issues as well as any other issue. So with mayor of that, I'll answer any questions that you, the governing body or the public may have.
I appreciate it, Rob, and I think that we certainly are grateful that you're here before us explaining the process and once again appearing before us. I know that Comcast has done it on a regular basis. So with that in mind, we have plenty of time to strike our agreement with you. And I'll ask the administrator to follow up, and then we will come back with the council in the workshop, unless anybody has any direct questions. Okay. We do have a tradition now that we've started workshops, so this is one of the issues that will be on the monthly workshop, and I think we can move ahead rather expeditiously.
And if you need me at another meeting, I will make myself available.
Thank you. All right. Take care, Ryan.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay, next is the public hearing on Monmouth County open space. Ziad, you're handling that?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call our borough engineer, Laura Newman, please.
I'm going to grab a mic because Pam said I should yell into it. So just to the council and members of the public, this is the public hearing for the Monmouth County Open Space Grant for the fiscal year 2018. As the council will recall, we were not successful in getting a grant last year. Both myself and the Director of Public Utilities have made an effort, as well as our new administrator. We have sat with the county and look forward to progressing projects. And in fact, a lot of these improvements fall in line with some of their suggestions. So as you'll see up on the monitor, this is what is proposed for Eastside Park. It includes enhancements at the multi-purpose field, new backstop areas, bases, as well as fencing. It also includes I want to get the word right, engineered mulch within the play area. Currently, if you're out there, there's no safety area down there, so if a child were to fall, it could pose a hazard. In addition, it's very difficult to maintain. You want me to hold that?
I got it.
Okay.
If you want to go off the TV, and I'll hold this for the council.
So it becomes difficult to maintain that area, so this would help that as well as ease children in the event of a fall. So those are basically what's scoped for there. If we go to the next,
Up and down arrows.
there we go. The next improvement are solar lighting to be included along the walking path along the fields at Count Basie Park. That's basically what that is. They are solar, so they're energy efficient. And Mohawk Pond Park, what's included there is a pavilion structure as well as some barbecue, just trying to enhance the passive recreation area there. I think it's a nice amenity to the public.
Or if I could also just add on that too, what it does is it serves as a dual purpose for shade also for our campers in summer as well. Not going to solve all the problems, but it is more of a permanent structure in addition to some of the other temporary shade that we're envisioning. And it's an opportunity for some revenue generation too by being able to rent out this pavilion, private parties. Perfect scenic look at the pond, and gives people an opportunity to enjoy with families, birthdays, whatever. We're going to patriate those America.
And then the final improvement that we have is over at Riverside Gardens. It includes some landscaping enhancements, installation of a flagpole, replacement of a bench, and then redoing the decking on the decking that's currently out there. It would be a pre-manufactured wood decking, so it would be longer lasting. And we feel that would enhance the walkway along the water area there. So basically, with these 4 projects, the estimated construction cost is $500,000, which puts us, this is a matching grant, and the most money we could seek is $250,000, so that will be what we're asking for of the county. So with that, I know I spoke relatively quickly, but I'm open for any questions, comments, concerns that the council or the public may have.
All right, so this is a public hearing, so the members of the council can ask questions first.
Thank you, Laura. So they had mentioned that at Mohawk Pond, there would be a pavilion with barbecue pits, and you mentioned renting it out. So would there be a limit? Like, would there need to be a maximum number before you have to rent it, or can, 2 or 3 people just go and use the pavilion?
No, that'll be a policy change that will, that'll be a policy change that will work with the recreation department for scheduling, but no, it's not envisioned for small groups, it's mostly for larger groups of people.
But I'm saying residents could,
yes,
a Saturday morning,
yeah,
decide, hey,
exactly,
I'm going to have my family,
exactly,
4 or 5 people,
right,
8 people. Okay, thank you.
And then Laura, on the boardwalk redecking at Riverside Gardens Park, is that a composite planking that'll be used?
Yes, it is. We're going to use the existing subsurface, but the top would be upper manufacturing.
Like a Trex type
Yeah.
product, so
Yes.
that it's virtually maintenance free?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any members of the public have any questions of our engineer or the administrator regarding the application? If not, motion to close the public hearing. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Laura. Okay, is there a motion to resume the regular order of business? Second. All in favor? Any opposed? We have on the workshop cancellation of the December 26th council meeting. We talked about this informally. Any issues with that? If not, then we can add the resolution on.
Mayor, I just have one. Should we have a need for a second meeting? Should there be an ordinance that's introduced at the first meeting in December? I'm assuming that we would have some sort of...
There would be no problem to have a special meeting called upon after the first meeting upon 48 hours notice. And also, we can also adjourn the sine die, which we've done that in the past January 1st.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, so can we do that now? All right, motion to cancel the December 26th meeting subject to those conditions. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. You can all enjoy Boxing Day. Second is the East Bergen Place project change order resolutions. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. For the benefit of the Mayor and Council, we have construction going on at East Bergen as part of our 2017 road improvement project. Due to unforeseen circumstances, and actually fortunately that we did discover that while the road was opening, there are some water main issues. It's closer to grade than it should be, which poses issues in terms of cold weather, frost. If there's frost, it could cause issues with the pipes. They're also older pipes, and so these amounts and the work here that we're proposing, which is a water main replacement, was not envisioned initially, which is why you have a change order before you. The project is taking place in 3 parts, I'll say. The part that's before you is the portion between Broad and Sprague. There's 2 other portions of the East Bergen repaving project that are still envisioned in the construction project, which are going to require water main replacements. We will come back to you with change orders for those. We want to replace the whole water main and do it correctly, so that way there's no emergency when the road is closed up, necessitating us to open it back up and not have the anticipated funds. So we have a change order here in the amount of about $160,000. We expect that's more than we'll need, but we're taking that from existing capital funds, from old bond ordinances for water work.
So that's from unexpended bonds that are already out there?
Correct. Correct, Mayor. Laura, is there anything else you want to add?
Not really at this time. I do want to echo what Ian had indicated, is that we have at least two areas where the water main is within the frost line of the roads. They're not adequate clearance, so it poses a major concern. And just as we're out there with the trucks and rolling and compacting, that's where we're starting to see the issues. And so luckily, we're ahead of any major issues, but it is a critical requirement.
And because of its closeness to the grade and the way it's situated with the service connection, we've been running into issues where some of those service connections are breaking, so we're having to replace them as they go along, slowing the project down. Ultimately, we're going to spend a lot of money having to replace those. We might as well just do it right and replace the water main from the get-go.
In essence, does this straighten out the water main as it runs under the road?
Well, again, we really be looking to do a replacement in kind, primarily because it's an emergent nature. We're not looking to upsize or really make major modifications that would promptly need a permit. But I will tell you, having been out there, we have found an abandoned main under the sand and the sewer. So as we do make modifications to make it as straight as possible, yes, but I think the water main itself is running pretty straight. It's not going to be as jagged as the sewer was.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, we're moving ahead with that. Next is the work settlement agreement. We talked about this in executive session. Litigation involving former employee pursuant to the recommendation of litigation counsel as well as labor attorney. Any questions? If not, the resolution will be acted. Okay, approval of the minutes for August 15, 2018. Motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. August 29, 2018, workshop minutes. Motion? Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are no appointments this evening. Are there any public comments on any resolutions or ordinances on for this evening? If not, motion to close. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we have reports of mayor and council committee members. Michael?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome, everyone. The Finance Committee met Tuesday, August 28th, after we had some problems with our building and weather and vacation, so we finally got together. We talked about our PBA ongoing negotiations, again, contractual, private negotiations, so I can't discuss any details here. We talked about banking services and the RFP that's out to get quotes on getting better rates for the services that the borough gets financially. I think that was also discussed at the workshop meeting. We're looking at several different responses. And again, as we talked about at the workshop, there's no one bank that we have to do all our services with. So Ziad will be going through those and we'll be talking about those in more depth, and hopefully a resolution will come by soon. We reviewed the monthly actual versus budget for 2018. So the council gets a monthly report of what our budget was, the budget that we approved back in May, June, whatever it was, and the actual expenditures that we've seen through the years. So the Finance Committee went through that, again, looking for ways to, if we can save money, or we're ahead of schedule, or we're behind schedule, just to keep us on point of what our budget looks like and to keep us on target. And combined with that, we have the 2019 budget that is not a budget, but a projection for next year. Again, looking at 2018, hopefully to find some savings to roll into 2019. And as we look at 2019, look to reduce that tax rate, which is, I'm all about that. So, we met on August 29th with RBR and the administrator and some of the Little Silver and Shrewsbury elected officials to discuss the upcoming referendum in December. And prior to that meeting, I had the chance to sit down and talk with RBR, the superintendent and some other board officials there, about some of the concerns that I've heard from residents throughout Red Bank about attendance in the academies and on our sports teams at RBR, for Red Bank residents. So I asked for some information. The superintendent is currently gathering that information just on participation rates and how we compare to the other towns, ascending districts, what happened. So again, I haven't received that. As soon as I do, I will share what I can share with the general public. I think it's important to have all the facts before we go into the poll and vote in December. And hopefully, I think our tech and ed liaison, Councilwoman Oregon, will probably have more on that. I'm not sure. Okay, well, be that as it may. I wanted to make one clarification. September 15th is this coming weekend, and I've been promoting our, what I call the Shared Services Summit. I misspoke, and I deeply apologize to everyone. The branding is for a Best Practices and Innovation Summit, and it's actually invitation only. So I apologize if I gave the impression that it was open to the public, but it's really for borough elected officials and administrators and other officials of our neighboring towns on the county and the state level to get together and again, talk about best practices, what we can do better, what other towns are doing better that we can incorporate in what we do, and just brainstorming to make Red Bank and the other boroughs better. So again, I apologize if I misled that it was open. It's not, it's by invitation only, but it will be going on September 15th. And finally, I'd just like to send my condolences to my former colleague, Dr. Stone, and his family on their loss. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Happy New Year to those celebrating. As you heard, the Spurgeon project is underway. Thank you to all who have commented on this major infrastructure and roadway improvement. We appreciate your patience as the project continues. The crosswalks around town have been painted. We're almost complete, but the weather this week with all of the rain has delayed some of the finishing painting, but we are making progress. The Department of Public Utilities and administration have selected a contract for the repairs here at 90 Monmouth Street. And lastly, River Center and the Visitor Center have officially relocated to 140 Broad Street on the main floor, and there is parking for anybody visiting their offices in the rear of the building. That's all.
Thank you, Ed. Kathy?
I have no report.
Thank you. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, the summer flew by. I just wanted to thank our Parks and Rec Department, Charlie, Oscar, Cindy, Michaela, and Ms. Hurley for all their hard work with the summer series and with the camp, including Rose as well for the camp. That's really a great job, great services for our residents, so I really wanted to thank them for all their hard work. Yeah, we can give them a round of applause. We have Halloween movie night in the park. It's October 12th, featuring Hotel Transylvania. It's going to start about 6:45. We have our egg hunt on October 18th, which is start at 7 p.m. Our parade is October 21st with a lineup at 1 p.m. and parade starts at 2. Our art show is on October 27th. That's from 12 to 2 p.m. And Veterans Day on November 11th will begin at 11 a.m. Also, we have our parking committee meeting with the Walker Consultants on September 24th at the middle school. I hope everybody can be there to attend and provide their input. Thank you.
And Eric, that's a public meeting, not a committee meeting.
Yes, that's a public.
Thank you. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief. I just wanted to one more time thank Patrolman Shea and Patrolman Balmer for coming down to accept the award and bringing the K-9 units here. It's been a big help to Red Bank. So thank you, Chief. Also, obviously, always being great, chain man with the dogs and everything you've done. So that's it.
Thank you, Michael. Mark?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just piggyback. I didn't say it earlier, but the importance of K-9 units in Red Bank can't be overstated to our police forces generally throughout the state. My wife's uncle actually was a K-9 officer, and his K-9 saved his life, losing his own in the process, but the dog saved the man's life. So it's a really incredible asset for Red Bank, especially to have 2 units. And I want to thank the Elks, as an Elk myself, the charity work they do in town and donate to the police forces is really excellent. I'm glad to see that partnership. I just have a couple quick comments on the EC. We have
the Environmental
Commission. We have submitted our second round of submissions for the Sustainable Jersey application for the current year. Last year, we achieved a bronze status with 150 points. Proud to report we've submitted 420 points already for silver status this year. We need 350 to qualify. So we're waiting to have our submission vetted, and hopefully we will be able to announce that we have achieved silver status. So it would be a really incredible achievement 2 years running. I also want to note on the Monmouth County Open Space Grant that was depicted and talked about earlier, Travers Martin from the EC donated his time to develop a landscape plan for us for relatively low maintenance and sustainable plantings in those different designs of park improvements. So thank you, Travers, for that, for donating his time. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Sorry. Thank you, Kate. We also were able to be the recipient of a Complete Streets Technical Assistance Grant, up to $10,000 in technical assistance. This helps us with our Complete Streets initiative. I actually believe I was on the email chain today that we may have a draft resolution to be presented at a future council meeting, probably later this month or if not early October. And to that end, with the improvements to East Bergen Place, if we could incorporate Complete Streets pieces, not Sharrows necessarily, but maybe bike lanes, and try to incorporate what some of our neighboring towns are doing with bike lanes to facilitate additional pedestrian and cyclist endeavors, as well as obviously our vehicles. So Complete Streets means everybody. So I'm happy to announce we got that grant, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, nothing further, so we'll move on to communications and petitions. The first is the trap, neuter, and release announcement. There will be a session at this building tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And it is a public session that will be run by my good friend, Chief Ross LaCitra, who is the chief of the Monmouth County ASPCA and well-known animal rights advocate and former police officer. So he's the chief law enforcement officer in the county on these issues, very well versed on trap, neuter, and release. It's going to be in this room at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. The public is invited because it's a worthwhile program that Red Bank is engaging in. The second, as Eric has indicated, on September 24th at 7 p.m. at the Red Bank Middle School, there will be a public kickoff meeting for the parking forum. So anyone wishing to attend should be there at that. Petitions, unless there is any objection, I'm going to move them all en masse. Request from Garmany and Boomer Isaacson Foundation for their fundraiser in valet parking on September 14th. Garmany to hold the Driving Awareness Exotic Car event on October 14th from 10 to 12 noon into Post Canal Street. A request from Ariana Thackington to hold a townwide cleanup event on October 13th from 11 to 2. Request from Two Rivers Theater to hold their annual Halloween ball on October 20th. Request from the House on Stephen Avenue Fund Incorporated to reserve the date of August 3, 2019 to hold a back-to-school dash at Back Point giveaway at Count Basin Field from 12 to 4. I presume that that's open on that day, but a request to hold the 10th annual Red Bank Community Block Party on August 10th, 2019, the rain date of August 17th, 2019, to be closed Dr. Parker Boulevard between Bridge and Shrewsbury Avenue. Motion to grant the request. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ordinance is on for first reading. Ordinance 2018-23, which amends and supplements Chapter 9 with respect to the Human Relations Advisory Committee, amending Section 9-24 and 25 to provide for the appointment of 2 alternate committee members. Motion to introduce. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? The public hearing will be on September 26, 2018. Ordinance 2018-24 amends and supplements Chapter 490 of the Planning and Development Regulations relating to tattoo establishments, which will create the ability for one to open up a tattoo artist studio. Motion to introduce. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Public hearing on October 10, 2018, referred to the planning board. Ordinance 2018-25 amends and supplements Chapter 490 of the Planning and Development Regulations relating to the alternative treatment centers. Motion to introduce. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That hearing will also be on October 10, 2018, and it's referred to the Planning Board. 2018-26 ordinance to authorize the acquisition of 2 easements affecting Block 71, Lot 5, from the Board of Education of the Borough of Red Bank for the purpose of constructing the emergency access driveway and water main, and this is pursuant to our joint agreement and working with the Board of Education on the emergency access. Motion to introduce. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Public hearing will be on September 26, 2018. No need to refer that to the planning board. Ordinance 2018-22 is an ordinance that amends Borough Code 8118 regarding the police department to create the position of police chaplain, which is a non-paid position. Any members of the public wish to be heard on this? If not, motion to close. Second. All in favor? Motion to adopt, Michael.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Taylor?
Yes.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Yingstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Ballard?
Yes.
Councilman Ziprich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Okay, the ordinance is adopted. Unless there's an objection, rather, on the consent agenda, resolutions 18, 219, 20, 21, and 22 should be moved en masse. Any objection? If not, motion? Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 18-223 is a resolution that authorizes the mayor and clerk to execute a municipal assistance shared service agreement with the county to execute a shared service agreement with the county of Monmouth. Motion? Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 18-224 authorizing the execution of a commodity resale agreement with the county of Monmouth as we do every year. Motion? Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 18-225 vacating and eliminating the position of assistant construction official. Motion? Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 18-226, resolution awarding professional service contract to T&M Associates for engineering services for Bellhaven Park project. Motion? Second? All in favor? Any opposed? We're going to add resolution 227 authorizing a changeover order number 1 relating to the contract with Lucas Construction Group for the improvements to East Bergen Place project as our business administrator had previously indicated. Motion? Second? All in favor? Any opposed? And resolution 228, which is a resolution authorizing a settlement agreement with Jason Burke. Motion? Second? All in favor? Any opposed? There are no proclamations. Resolution 18-229, a resolution for payment of bills. Be it resolved by the mayor and council, the bills be paid on the attached check registers totaling $3,626,406.14. Motion? Second? All in favor? Any opposed? Any old business? Any new business?
Mayor, I just have one item that got mentioned in my report is that the Red Bank Borough Education Foundation's Casino Night is being held on Friday, October 5th at the Red Bank Elks. If anybody would like to purchase tickets or sponsor the event, they can go to rbbef.org and click on the link that is there. And then one other old item. We had talked earlier in the summer about a bike share program. I had a conversation with the administrator the other day. There are some cautionary procedures that he suggested we evaluate before we move ahead with the bike share program, and so that is an ongoing project that we will kick into probably next year, I think.
Yeah, there's the council and the administration is extraordinarily in favor of it because we all, an older community, have developed in different patterns than newer communities. There's a lot we have to still consider and sort of coordinate with not only New Jersey Department of Transportation, but also the police department and our engineer for safety purposes and liability. So we're moving ahead with it. It's just going to take a little bit more time to coordinate those entities. but we are working on it. Thank you.
Mayor, just to piggyback on that, as you heard earlier on the report, we've got that Complete Streets Technical Assistance Grant, which is going towards this purpose. We're working on an NJDOT Bikeways grant as well, which is in process. It should be submitted by the end of the month as well to implement some of those recommendations for the borough's bike and pedestrian plan. So we're moving forward with these so that way we can get ready to roll out that bike share.
Thank you. Okay, any new business? I guess not. Audience, since this is the audience portion, we do have the time limit for individuals. We've reviewed the past minutes and we've ascertained that a lot of people's times have been spent in colloquy back and forth with various council members. So therefore, this is the time for the public to exercise your right to make comments, speeches, whatever else you want to do, but it's really not the time for the diatribe back and forth. The answers will only be at the end of your presentation. That way we'll save time for the people making the presentation. Jimmy?
Justin Tech. Jimmy Dart, 48 West Sunset Avenue. Good afternoon. Mayor Minute, this is something that you had done a couple of years ago about the street in front of where I live at. And what happened is, now, sitting down here, Cliff last year, I'm not sure at the time, Cliff was supposed to come by and check this out. So about a couple of weeks ago, less than a couple of weeks ago, looking outside, the tree, people sitting on the front porch. I opened up the front door and I said, excuse me, can I help you? That time, until my sister came out and said what she had to say, then they left. Then like a week or 2 weeks again, he just sitting down there right as you come up to the porch. And you go out there, turn the light on. I couldn't see the guy, so the tree is swallowing the light. It's a big shade right there. So you go out there, so you really can't see nobody at nighttime. So these two incidents before the tree is really taking the cover of the light. So what happened is, the second instance, we had to call the police department to come out here. And I'd like to thank the chief and the police department for coming out there. And the guy said, well, go ahead and call the police. So they came out, the guy said, my girlfriend, this and that, but and I don't know neither one of them. So I had spoken to Cliff, and I was speaking to you about this. What happened is, I just like to approach this and get this to you. The electric company sent somebody out there, and he told me to tell you, he said, when you go to the meeting, talk to the mayor and said, and the tree, he said, because it's a maple tree. He said, we're going to have to keep coming and coming and trimming the tree. So the tree is almost taller than the pole. So he said, when you talk to the mayor, tell him to contact me. And we will take the whole tree down, even the tree is busted up the sidewalk and everything, but it said it would cost the town, the borough, no money at all. And I said, this is an ongoing problem. So he said, when you do go down there, tell the mayor to contact me. He said, we are so overworked, but he said, I'm telling you, and you and your sister, that this will cost the town nothing. He said, the tree is a maple tree, and it's right by the power line. And I said, when the wind really gets higher and higher, if you're shaking the line, you can tell inside when the lights be blinking. So he said, make sure you do this, it will cost the town nothing. So this has just been going on and on and on, and now this is starting, you got people sitting here. I don't know the people, I don't know them at all. So you turn the light on, or they're standing out there without the lights. You really can't tell who these people are. And I said, it's really sad that we've been going through this and going through this with the same tree. And he said the tree should not have been planted there. He said this is a maple tree, a backyard tree, so it's tearing up sidewalk, and it's taking, it's like a big shadow. So this really, really got me ticked off because people sitting out here. So I said, dang, if I come out here, what's going to happen? So, with the chief of police and the police department, they said, from now on, please call us. And I mean, this is ongoing, and
I gave the information to our business administrator. He will come by and take a look at it, and if appropriate, take appropriate action.
Yes, because the reason I'm saying is.
Before the next council meeting.
It's sad, you get a surprise, here's somebody camping, sitting on your property. I don't know the people, you try to be nice. And
You made your point, yeah.
yeah, no, the reason I'm saying this because, something can happen,
Okay.
and I'm just saying, I know it takes a little time, but I just want to get this out because JCPL sent somebody there, and he said, I'm telling you, if they call us, we will get this matter taken care of. And he said, tell the mayor, this would not cost them.
We're all in favor of costing no money, so that's good.
Right, but I just want to get this because, because the two incidents, because my sister could have went out there and people.
Yeah, you're out of time.
Okay.
Well, you got your message across.
But I'm just saying, the reason I'm saying this, so I want.
You got your time across,
Okay.
sorry. Next, Ms. Boas.
Barbara Boas, 135 Branch Avenue. I just have two quick thoughts. Where are they going to line up for the Halloween parade? Since East Bergen Place is a big mess.
Finish your statements and we'll
Okay.
answer all, that's what I said.
That's one. And two, when you made this statement about the Z, when you made the statement about the change of for the pipes, you said Spring Street? Did you mean South Street or did you mean Branch Avenue?
East Bergen between South and Broad.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's where I live, so that's why I was trying to figure out where, if it. Yeah, you said spring, and I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't in your paperwork, that Spring Street. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so because of the construction, Parks and Rec will issue where we're going to start the lineup.
Mayor, we're actually starting at Irving and Arthur Place.
Oh, okay, that answers it. Good. Thank you, Eric. Anybody else? Alice?
Allison Gregory, 109 Bank Street. So a couple things. First, thank you for the remembrance yesterday at the park. That was really great to see the town come together and remember such an unfortunate event. I also wanted to second what Eric said. Thank you to Charlie and the Parks team for the summer programs. My girls and I took part in quite a few of those events, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So that was great. I'd love to see that continue. I don't know if I brought this up before, but the crosswalk on Shrewsbury Avenue by Locust Avenue, huge problem in this town. Kids cross there every day. I was thankful to see the police there the first day of school. However, that was it, just the first day. I crossed there with my girls on the bike and pedestrian crossing. They don't stop. Nobody stops. I know it's a county road, but nobody stops, and that's a huge thoroughfare for kids to cross during school hours. There's a bus stop right there. I just feel like something needs to be done. Another crossing guard would be essential because people just don't care to stop on that busy road.
Thank you.
Then the other thing was, it was brought to my attention by a few people in town. I wanted to bring up 105 West Sunset. I guess that's been an ongoing problem with cars in the driveway, abandoned cars, and garbage in the backyard. So they wanted me to bring to your attention maybe to check. There's also an open permit in the window that's been there for quite a while. And I know you're handling all the open permits and trying to catch up with that. So thank you for that.
What is the address? I'm sorry.
105 West Sunset.
We will look at it and get back to you.
And then the other thing is, I feel that I've been told by quite a few people as a real estate agent locally that they're being threatened to be ticketed for their grass not being cut with maybe 5 hours notice before the first day of school, $250 fine. Calling somebody at 2:30 in the afternoon, it gets dark at 8, how many hours do you have to cut your grass? I think that's pretty bad that you couldn't have been notified before 5 hours of daylight left. When there is so many other situations, Safety, 90 Bank Street. Just bringing that back to your attention. I do not understand it. It's been there since 1980. There's neighbors that have been trying to fight this and bring it to the town's attention. Safety, health, you name it. There's an issue at that house. The house next door can't sell their home because of this property. So I'm really hoping that after 20, 30, 40 years, that something can finally be done with this property because it's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Thank you for your comments. The matter that you last spoke about is in litigation, both federal and state litigation. We can't comment publicly, but we are taking...
I know, but that's what we hear every time. And
well,
that's,
you want to defend the litigation if we talk about it? It's going to be your tax dollars.
I know, well, what I'm saying is something needs to be done about that
We are
property.
doing it.
And you're
I'm
threatening
defending
neighbors
code
to cut the grass, stop work orders on investors and first-time buyers coming in to fix up homes when they're doing all the work properly, but you're not taking care of. I know you're in litigation, but it's a major, major problem.
I respect that, and believe me,
If
it's
a fire's
frustrating
there,
for
you
us.
will not save anyone, and it'll spread to other properties.
The thing that you indicated about code enforcement giving 3 hours notices is completely inaccurate. By the code, they don't give
It's
3
not
hours
inaccurate
notices.
because I received a call from
Well,
a client of
the
mine.
information you were given was inaccurate, is what I'm telling you.
I don't believe it was.
Okay, that's
I
a difference of
appreciate it.
opinion.
Not 3 hours.
I would
said
prefer
at
to believe my code
2:15
enforcement officer instead of somebody with third hand.
PM, they received the call.
Okay.
And it's 8 o'clock, it gets struck out.
I would like that in a certification. Yeah. Oh, okay. Mr. Boynton.
Good afternoon. P.O. Box 2074. Mr. Mayor, I just want to ask, can anybody explain to me what's going on Layton Avenue and Newman Springs Road?
I'm sorry, Layton and what?
Can anybody explain to me what's going on Layton Avenue and Newman Springs Road, the water
Is that your only question tonight, or do you have others? Because we'll take care of all of them.
Well, the other one is, I noticed some of the yards around here, the house on Shrewsbury Avenue, right down from Pilgrim there, that grass is pretty high. I guess they're going to tear the house down or whatever, but I'm not sure. But
Yes, the answer is yes.
that grass needs to be taken care of, cut. A lot of mosquitoes and stuff.
There's a demolition order for that.
Okay, that's the only thing I want to know about there. Layton Avenue.
On Layton, I believe the administrator has an answer on that.
That is not a Red Bank water main or pipe that is actually being handled by New Jersey American Water. They did fix it once. The problem recurred, and we've been working with them to try and get it resolved. But that is entirely on New Jersey American Water.
So that firehouse is New Jersey, belongs to New Jersey Water on Layton Avenue?
That hydrant is not for New Jersey American Water. There's a pipe under it that's causing that leak. That belongs to New Jersey.
Because the reason why I'm asking, when you got water running constantly like that, underneath the ground is getting real soft. So we're going to have a major problem. I hate to say this, but when you look at TV, Hoboken have a lot of pipes busting underneath. So I know that ground is real soft under there. I'm just saying it should be taken care of.
Absolutely. Thank you for your diligence on that.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public? Frank Woods? Mr. Woods, come on up.
Good morning, Mayor, or good evening, Mayor and Council.
I wish it was still morning.
Yeah, I know, it's been a long day. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Frank Woods, 92 Harding Road. I'd just like to piggyback again on Councilman Youngstrom's. I have to say the Parks and Rec program that they have for the summer camp is an outstanding program. My daughter has loved it. This is 2 years my daughter's done this. And I've talked to other parents. Fantastic job. Not too often we get compliments for different organizations in the borough, but I have to tell you, personally as a resident, I have to tell you, outstanding. The kids loved it, and I can honestly tell you, and I'm a little nervous about my daughter going places, I feel comfortable with my child going with the Parks and Rec program. So, and I don't talk that often in front of the council. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, do we have a need for an executive session? just a follow-up to a question that came up.
Thank you, Mayor. And we discussed this in workshop, but I just, for the benefit of the public and for the mayor and council again, code enforcement is being very diligent, more than ever before. They're doing a fantastic job to address quality of life and health concerns around the borough, not just with residential properties, but with also commercial properties. We've met with River Center to ensure that the property owners in the commercial district also take responsibility for their part in it, and we're doing arsoning of our own properties, and we're doing weekend patrols, and we're doing evening patrols as well, and week walking patrols. And they're doing a fantastic job with that. Because of that new effort, some people may be unsure or taken aback by some of the new enforcement. But to be clear, the steps are this. They will either call or speak to the homeowner or property owner in person and give them a verbal warning. That's all it is. It's a warning, not a threat. They will, if it's not abated within a certain number of days, we don't just give hours, a number of days, then they will follow up with a written notice, and then from that written notice, if that's also not abated, it then leads into a summons. So we are trying to work with everybody, understanding, and we're not always going to achieve compliance right away from some properties. It's like speeding. You put speed limit signs, some people obey the law, some people don't. You take them to court, they'll pay the fine, and they'll still speed. So we're trying our best to get compliance because, as I was talking with us wearing these pins, Red Bank pride. We want Red Bank to look great, and we want Red Bank to be the best it can. And that's on us to work with the residents and the businesses to achieve that goal.
Okay. Any other questions based on that follow-up? If not, is there a motion to adjourn? Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you for coming.